Hi everyone, I'm here to read chapter 32 of A Dog's Promise. See what happens today. Here is Grant, Zizi observed. At Grant's name, I turned and could smell and see him striding out to us. Chase Dad grunted. Good. I'll tell him what I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not selling. Understand me, Zizi. If my kids don't want it, then fine. Chase Dad stepped forward and put his hand on Zizi's shoulder. Zizi looked surprised. Chase Dad was staring at him fiercely. When I die, I'm leaving this farm to you and Lee men, Zizi. You're a real farmer. The two men stood looking at each other, and then Zizi stepped forward and hugged Chase Dad. Zizi was crying, but he did not seem sad. He did not speak, but he wiped his eyes and nodded. Grant walked up, looking puzzled. Did I just see you two hugging each other? Chase Dad laughed. Our secret's out. That's really what we do all day out here. Grant grinned. I won't tell anybody. So Ava had to leave. There's some big national organization that filed a lawsuit. They want all the death-dealing dogs put down. They claim the dogs can't be rehabilitated. They say the dogs are slaves who are better off dead. The rescues that are housing the dogs have teamed up and hired Ava to represent them. Dog fights. Dad was shaking his head. Hard to believe such a thing could happen around here. I never heard a word about any of it. Grant looked around. I thought I might as well spend the weekend here, show you two old guys how to harvest cucumbers. The three men spent the day not playing with the dog. It was evening when they finally decided to head back to the house. Zizi drove the slow truck, and Chase Dad and Grant walked together while I ran ahead, and a good thing I did too. I saw a creature I had encountered once before, with a hunched back and a scuttling walk. It was at the base of a big tree next to the barn, but when it saw me tearing across the field, it wisely dashed up the trunk. It jumped into a yawning hole high above my head, but I wasn't fooled. I could smell it in there. I barked to let it know that was out of options. Grant and Chase Dad shouted for me, but I stayed on mission. Whatever the thing was, I would not let it come back down. What is it, Riley? Grant called as he approached. What's up there? I saw the creature peer out of the hole, nose pointed and painted with light-colored fur, black circles around each dark eye. What's he got? Chase Dad asked. He's treed a raccoon up there. See it? Chase Dad stood with his hands on his hips. Yeah, I do. When did that hollow get so big? I'm surprised the tree's still standing. Raccoon, Zizi repeated slowly. Raccoon. Grant petted me. You didn't want to mess with the coon, Riley. You don't want to mess with the coon, Riley. They can be vicious if they have to. Come on. I was disappointed when Grant made me follow the men inside and shocked when he blocked off the dog door. I had expected to spend the rest of the evening periodically bursting out and giving that animal the fear of its life. It was gone the next morning, though its pungent odor still clung to the tree. Denied the opportunity to punish it for its trespasses, I sniffed carefully, and then did the only thing appropriate, was to lift my leg to overwrite its scent with my own. Grant and I eventually left to go find Ava. It turned out she had returned to her house. Grant packed a bag and departed like he always did, and I went back to the busy place with Sam Dad and Ava's friends and dogs and the haughty cats. Most of the time Ava was there, but sometimes she would leave and Sam Dad would take me to his home at the end of the day, and when Ava arrived, she sometimes needed a dog because she was very tense. I would love a glass of wine, she told Sam Dad as she collapsed in a chair. He handed her something pungent to drink, and I curled up at her feet. So how'd it go? Sam Dad wanted to know. Today was heartbreaking. We heard testimony about their living conditions. Some were chained to buried car axles. We also viewed a video of one of the dogs attacking a person. They claim it's Lady Dog. You can see some guy going in with what they called a brake stick to separate these two dogs because the boxer mix is being killed by the pit mix. The idiot must have been drunk because he falls down and then the pit is on him instantly. It's brutal. Which one is Lady Dog? She's got the mostly white muzzle, the one that Riley likes so much. She's the most gentle dog, Dad. You sure it's her? That's the thing. The picture is so shaky you can't really tell. Same litter, maybe. Classic pit mix, strong body, grinning face. Somebody leaked the video, and it has a few million views, so everyone is calling for Lady to be put down. Any dog in the middle of a fight can turn on a person. Sure, Dad, you know that. I know that, but it was pretty savage. This makes no sense. Those kind of people would never let a fighting animal live if it weren't after one of its handlers. I agreed. They both sighed. Sam, Dad poured some more of the liquid. I could feel some of the tense sadness leaving them. Was glad I was there to help. We're getting death threats against Lady Dog now, Ava continued. One guy claimed he was headed over to my place with a rifle. I gave it to the sheriff. I'd feel better if Grant were there with you, Ava. He had to go straight to Tucson, another week. There was a long silence. I turned to attack an itch at the base of my tail. Sam, Dad stirred. He sure travels a lot. He's a good man, Dad. I'm not saying he's not, but I can tell you're not happy. He's not happy is the problem. He switched jobs again. Nothing satisfies him. But I guess we're happy. Don't look at me like that, Dad. It's the first real long-term relationship I've ever had, unless they've cheated on me by now. Oh, honey. Ava waved her glass. That's maybe the wine talking, but there's some truth to it. I feel like I'm always loyal, and the men I pick, she shrugged. Sam, Dad's jaw tightened. None of them were good enough for you. She gave him a smile. I know. Maybe I'm just holding out for someone as decent as my father. Marla walked in smelling like cats and flowers, and even though I was comfortable, I climbed to my feet to greet her. That's just one of the jobs of a dog, to make people feel welcome when they first come through the door. She pointed to a bottle. Please tell me you have more of that. Sam, Dad sprang up and poured some of the same strong-smelling liquid. Tough day, hon? Marla shrugged and smiled. Probably nothing like what Ava goes through. She accepted her glass. My department gets a loan package wrong. No animals get hurt. Ava took me home and ate dinner and fed me noodles, which were just okay. I loved Ava, even though she didn't eat much meat. By the time I saw Grant, Ava had been touching her phone constantly. He dropped his bag with a heavy thud. Well? Ava gave him a hug, but her attention didn't leave her. The judge is deliberating and will render tomorrow. Basically, I'm just texting with my dad and all the other rescues, second-guessing myself. I'm sure you did great. All I know is that if she rules against us, all the dogs will die. I sniffed Grant's pants, but there were no treats. Couldn't you appeal? An appeal could cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. Meanwhile, the dogs would be stuck in their cages, not being rehabilitated, while the system grinds on. I don't know if any of us has the stomach for that. She pressed her lips together. It would have meant a lot to me if you had been there, Grant. There was a long silence. I have to work, Ava. Come on. The next day, Grant ate bacon, and Ava didn't, but she was at the same table, so I sat and watched them both alertly. When I heard a familiar voice, both of them went stiff. This is it, Ava whispered. Either the dogs live or they don't. She picked up her phone, took a breath, and spoke to me. Hello? I went to Grant because he was so tense his leg was hopping under a table. Yes, thank you. Bye. Grant jumped up. We won, she shouted. They ran together and hugged. They were so happy that they gave me bacon. They left together, but when they came back, they brought Lacey. Grant had snapped her leash. It's a killer dog of Michigan, Riley. Be careful. I was so happy to see my Lacey. Normally I was not supposed to run around in the house, but I figured these circumstances called for such behavior. I jumped up on the couch and then leaped on her back. We crashed into a lamp. Lady! Riley, sit, Ava commanded. My butt hit the floor. I felt like a bad dog. Lacey did sit next to me. She's well behaved anyway, Grant observed, which is good because she's our dog now. What do you mean? I'm not even going to try to adopt out a dog that was all over social media as the most vicious creature in the universe. I'm not sure Lady would ever be safe with someone else. She has a lot of anti-pit bull fanatics who want her dead since she's the poster girl for death doll and dogs. Our dog, Grant repeated. Lacey and I were still doing sit. We looked at each other, unsure how much longer this was going to last. My dog, then, Grant. Lady's my dog and Riley's your dog. Okay, you happy? Ava put us in the backyard. Lacey and I played until it was dark. When we were let back in the house, we collapsed on a rug on the floor. I was so happy and exhausted, I could barely raise my head. Grant and Ava were eating, but even the tantalizing smell of hamburger couldn't make me move off that rug. Grant poured something into Ava's glass. Hey, Ava, I'm sorry. You're right. I should have been there for you. And I wasn't. I do like a man with an apology, so I was thinking we should take a trip together, go to Hawaii. Wow, you must really feel bad. I've got airline miles, high hotel points. We'll go first class all the way. What about the dogs? We'll take them to the farm, and my dad will watch them for us. I actually think it might be good to get Lady out of here for a while, in case one of those nut jobs actually does show up to hurt her. It was not long before we all returned to the farm. Lacey bounded out of the car and ran straight to Zizi, who seemed surprised at her enthusiastic greeting for some reason. Lacey was also thrilled to see Lehman, and then ran through the house sniffing. I knew who she was looking for. Wendling, of course. I had no way to tell her that Wendling and Burke were not there, but dogs very quickly figure out that sort of thing. Lacey was now Lady, just as I had once been Cooper and was now Riley. That's the sort of thing dogs will never understand. To me, she didn't need a different name just because she looked like a different dog. She was still my Lacey. Grant and Ava left us the next day. Lacey and I scarcely noticed. We were running and wrestling and playing all over the farm. When we dashed down to the pond, I took care to remain close to Lacey in case she went after another snake, doing steady to block her from wading into the marshy area, but she was more focused on harassing the ducks. After a time, we trotted out to the fields to check to see if Zizi and Chase Dad were interested in giving us treats. They weren't, but we stuck with them anyway. Most of the time, a dog feels better if there are humans within sight and smell. Every day was the same for us, playing, playing, playing. Then out to the fields to nap near Chase Dad and Zizi. Well, Zizi, I think they'll do it today, Chase Dad would say, which was a signal to get up because the men would walk with us home for dinner. Zizi? On this day, Dad was frowning. I felt Lacey tense. She went straight to Zizi, who was standing oddly, a bit bent over, not moving. You okay, Zizi? Zizi fell to his knees. Lacey barked in distress. Zizi! Chase Dad yelled. Zizi toppled face first into the dirt. My goodness, why do people have to get old? And dogs. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.